Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Stinchfield. Illegal aliens driving semi-trucks is becoming a deadly problem here in the United States. And much of the blame goes to, of course, California and Joe Biden for his open borders. But California, 62,000 illegal aliens given licenses to drive commercial vehicles, specifically 18-wheelers. The driver's license out of California was given to this guy. This was the crash in Ontario we told you about. It is hard to watch. Killed 3 people, injured 4. California also gave a license to that Indian driver in Florida who was making that illegal U-turn. That guy also responsible for this crash. California gave him a license. So neither of these drivers seem to be able to speak English, which is not legal, by the way. How are you even passing the test to get a driver's license? Secretary Duffy addressed this.
The driver that we're mentioning in Florida, he didn't speak English. 3 or 4 road signs he couldn't read, and a clear violation of the rule. So the question becomes, if you can't understand English, you can't understand road signs, how in the heck can you ever pass a test to be issued a commercial driver's license? You can't do it but for fraud. And so that is another investigation that we have undertaken to find out who are the good companies, who are the fraudulent bad companies, and we have to root them out.
All right, we're going to show you some unbelievable video of the fraud and how it's going on in just a moment. But before that, as for the driver in Ontario, California, also an Indian national here illegally, who appeared not to speak English very well, it turns out California defied federal orders 6 days before that driver crashed into those unsuspecting drivers on that highway in Ontario, California. 6 days before, California upgraded his license. They were not supposed to. There were orders. No more licenses for illegals. Secretary Duffy again.
Was the fact that Gavin Newsom didn't comply because he allowed a week ago this driver's license to be upgraded to a non-restricted driver's license. Had Gavin followed our rules per DOT, this guy would have never been on the road. 3 more people would be alive. So we're doing this because we're seeing a lot of foreigners, those who can't speak English, on our roadways, and it's harming the American citizen.
Folks, I'm telling you, I am tired of explaining to you why Democrats, specifically Democrats in positions of leadership, have blood on their hands. Why Democrats are getting American citizens killed through their sanctuary policies, their open border policies, and here ignoring the federal government and recklessly giving driver's licenses to illegal aliens who, 1, are incapable of driving on American highways, and 2, are flat out breaking the law by having a license in the first place. So how are these illegals that can't speak English passing the test? Well, Florida's First Coast News did an unbelievable investigation into this. And what they found in Florida were drivers using I guess it amounts to a FaceTime scheme to answer the questions when they go in for the test. Watch this.
So how does FHP say this cheating scheme works?
We were shocked to see the extent that they were going to.
Brian calls it organized fraud. According to investigators, the men went in here, the DMV on Roosevelt, to take the CDL test to drive a truck, but they are rigged up with equipment to get their answers.
And you see the actual apparatus that he's wearing. He has a chest harness that actually holds the phone.
A red iPhone in the harness, and under a t-shirt, you see the hole right there? So he comes in this t-shirt with a hole cut in it.
Yes.
Folks, I want you to remember, I owned a trucking company. I ran close to 15 18-wheelers. Where are the owners of these trucking companies? I would personally interview every driver I hired. If they couldn't speak English, I knew it was against the law to put them behind the wheel. Who's hiring these people? They're just as responsible as Gavin Newsom is for giving the licenses out, and Joe Biden is for allowing the open borders. So this investigation shows how it went down. They're wiggling around, getting a picture of the screen so someone can talk in an earpiece.
In a video we've obtained from the DMV, this man opening his shirt. Brian says it's kind of like FaceTime. The men sit in front of a computer and wiggle around
Their body language is abnormal.
until somebody outside in a parking lot can read the test questions on the screen in English and then tell them through this earpiece in their language.
All right, here's what I'm learning. There is a massive pipeline from India to the United States where these commercial truck driving companies are hiring Indian drivers, and my assumption is many of them are using schemes like this in order to get their license here in the United States.